So earlier, Ali, we spoke about, where you're currently at with things. You're sort of working this job and it's not really getting us any closer to living this dream life because you feel as though like it's getting you away from time with your family, time with yourself, and you're not able to have this time to actually invest in yourself, and it's sort of pushing you further and further away from like the best version of yourself. And although because you're working this job, it's taking you away from this, and you want to get to a life where you can be around your parents, around with your family, and have that time back to invest in yourself. And and you were saying like you tried to get out of this situation by trying job shipping, by trying like a trading and all these programs, but ultimately you were missing someone that was able to guide you in the right direction to actually show you how to get out of where you're at and move you closer to that goal of being able to be around your family. I mean, I mean, and you're saying if you had this guidance that it would actually get you to living that life a lot sooner. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. And I mean, what makes this mm, it's so important because you want to avoid the pain of not feeling that feeling again. So look, I think we can help you overcome this problem and actually get you towards that goal. Now, I can actually walk you through I can walk you through what's that going to look like in the next to take you from feeling stuck in your corporate job to getting out of it and actually towards that goals in the next 6 months. I mean, do you want me to run through it for you?
Yeah.
Mm. So, like you said, like being in construction, right? When you first began, it's simply you start with the knowledge. We're going to give you the building blocks so that you understand what it is, the foundational skill of how it's all sorted, so that you can lay that foundation. And then in the second month, that's when we can then build on that foundation and actually start you to implement the skill, whether it be the step-by-step videos, the training meals, getting around people that are actually doing it for yourself as well. And then in the third month, that's when we're actually going to start really practicing it and actually putting it in place so that the foundational skills and the time you take to learn can actually be implemented. And then in the fourth month, we then get the ball rolling. That's when we can actually start getting on the field, using the hammer and actually putting things in place so that you can then be getting that money and earning that income so we can get out of this job and closer to your goal. I mean, how does that sound to you?
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm. And what makes it make sense for you?
It's like you said, it's about going step by step,
Mm.
not overwhelming ourselves, but really going step by step and eventually putting into actual work.
So you see how this goal could potentially get you closer to your goal.
Yeah.
Mm. And do you want to know a little bit more about how we can use these 4 steps to get you out of your current situation?
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, I mean the knowledge, right? When you're working this job as a construction worker, you're saying you sort of lack the guidance or the knowledge to actually get you out of feeling stuck and towards that life of freedom, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on that foundational skill, which then can not only makes you realize that you're missing that knowledge, but you're able to then start on a basic foundation. And when you have a basic foundation, that allows you to not only just be comfortable with but also actually have self-confidence again, so that then we can get closer to living that dream life. Now, how that's going to work is we're going to be giving you a step-by-step program, a mentor, someone that you can actually learn from, that's gone through what you've gone through the same, and can teach you each step of the way so you're not feel alone in this journey. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
And how does it make sense for you?
Well, it's guidance, you know, it's like if I'm confused, if I'm stuck, if I have a question, somebody will be there to answer me, so I won't be by myself.
Mm, yeah. And how will it actually get you closer to getting that goal of leaving your job and creating that income for yourself?
Well, I won't be like struggling on my own. I'll have people to fall back on if things don't go right.
Yeah. And earlier you were speaking about how with dropshipping and with trading, like yes, you're able to get some understanding, but the videos were scattered and you felt as though you were missing like the sort of step-by-step link to actually understanding from one place to the next and actually having a guide as to not just getting understanding it, but also implementing it, right? You know, and
Yeah.
and and when you had this, it because it wasn't clear and you didn't have the structure, it just made you then sort of get confused and it made you feel like there was nowhere else to go, which ultimately led you back to going to a construction job that you still continue to hate, and it doesn't actually get you closer to living the dream with your parents. Is that right? So how are we going to overcome that with this this guidance, with this step-by-step program is basically walk you through along the road as to checkpoints on where you're going with things from the foundation, building you up and learning skills as you go. And the further that you go, it will help overcome this confusion because we're able to be guided and you're able to learn the foundations and build on the skill and not feel like you're confused. You know the journey that you're along. It's pretty clear set. Does that make sense for you? And how does it make sense for you?
Well, I won't be in the dark trying to figure things out. I'll have the information at my disposal, you know, and I have it in my hand, so
Mm,
I won't be basically like confused.
mm. And why is having this information at your disposal of your hand needed and not being confused so you can get closer to your goal? Why is that important?
Well, I mean, because that's how you learn. You learn with information, and I can use this information to basically create some type of plan or just to even learn the program. Like you said, it's step by step, which means I just have to follow it. You know, like you don't reinvent the wheel type of thing if the wheel is not broken. So I can just go with the program. I can just listen to it and I can just use it to my advantage and learn as I go along the way.
and you learning along the way, how's that going to help you ultimately get to your goal of being with your family and create that life for yourself? Like you said, go into trading and you could do the same there. What's going to be different now?
We said go on a trade.
Because you were saying with trading that it didn't work out for you, although you did have the step-by-step program, it was confusing. So what's going to be different this time?
Well, I guess it's going to be a combination of both. Like I'd have the mentor and the information. So I won't be just giving a template and be like, here, figure this out. I'd actually have the information, the programs, the videos, and I'll have the coaches to fall back on if I don't understand something.
Mm.
So, get me closer to my goal because I can learn more effectively. And I won't be learning blindly. I'll have people to guide me even as I'm learning. So,
Yeah. And speaking of people, I mean, because you mentioned as well with coming into trading and doing drop shipping, there was no one around to really help you scale up, and you sort of felt like you were doing it alone, which which then it didn't actually get you closer to achieving that dream. And so it was sort of then feeling stuck, and that then ultimately got you back to going back to your job and feeling that community in that job. But like we said before, like it wasn't actually getting you closer to your goal because they were stuck, unmotivated, sort of comfortable with their job, and you didn't want that. And so you were saying what you missed was having the people around that actually can be there to push you and be around you so you can overcome this fear of being stuck and actually get closer to your goals. I mean, how we're going to overcome this, Ali, is we're going to give you also the community in which there are people that are like-minded like you, that have the same goals, ambitions, and are ahead of the game. They're able to still answer questions and be able to create the lifestyle that you want. I mean, and also they you have any questions and issues, you become brothers. I mean, how does that sound for you, Ali?
I mean, I've never really had, I think it would be cool to have people doing the same thing that I'm doing and, like holding me accountable or helping me out. Have a bunch of people next to me that are basically doing the same thing that I'm doing so we can help each other and we can grow alongside each other. Like push ourselves and encourage ourselves to do better. I think that'll be good.
Why would having a community that pushes you to do better, be better, push you along, actually, what would it do for you? What would make it so important for you and actually get you to your goal of getting out of this job and towards this lifestyle?
Well, I wouldn't be by myself. So I kind of feel like a team effort. Like I don't want to let the team down. Or even in the sense that like just having people to hold me accountable is pretty powerful, I think. So if I have people doing the same thing that I'm doing at the same level as I'm doing, it'd be nice for us to help each other along the way and little by little grow successful with them.
Good. And you've now also mentioned growing successful. with like-minded individuals. I mean, you did also mention that with trading, like because you didn't see the results and you weren't able to have an actual tangible thing, it didn't get you any closer to your goal, which then forced you to go back to your work. And although you saw success in work, but it wasn't ultimately the lifestyle that you saw. And feeling that pain of feeling stuck and comfortable, the complacency they then led you to just lose time out on family, lose time out on your loved ones. So how we're going to overcome that as well is literally show you how to get this offer by implementation. I mean, we're gonna help you land a role. We're gonna help you actually get the certifications, get the results, or get the confidence so that you can then be able to create that lifestyle where you're making 10, 20, 30, 40K per month and actually get you closer to living that dream life. I mean, how does that sound for you?
It'll be nice, man, to actually put it into actual work and see results. That'll be pretty good. It won't be leaving me, guessing.
Why is it important for you not to be left guessing how to achieve your goals?
Because I mean, at least I have like a sense of direction to be like, okay, I know this is working, this is not working.
Mm.
And because I'll have the coaches by me, they can also be like, hey man, you need to switch this, you need to change that. If you want this kind of result, you can do this and implement this. But then it's gonna come down to me putting in the work.
Putting in the work. Okay, so obviously you see how having access to, the knowledge, the guidance, the mentorship, the community, and also then the actual implementation of the skill is actually going to help you solve the problem of you being stuck in this job and take you out of being complacent, stuck, and fearful of your future, to which you can actually get to that goal of being with your family and living that dream life that you've had for these past 3 years. I mean, why do you think that he can help you out?
I don't know, it just seems like it's what I need. It just seems like it just seems like that it's the way for me to go right now.
Hmm. I mean, would there be anything you'd be missing that is getting you that's hindering you from getting your goals?
Not really, no.
Mm. So where do we go from here?
I guess we can get started.